Good evening, good evening, good evening. You're locked into another episode of the Red Sea podcast. And tonight we are talking everything Liverpool and Leicester. Leicester are in free-for-all, currently languishing mid-table. Liverpool are continuing their charge to try and track down Manchester City and get as close to them as they possibly can. We discuss everything on the other side of this intro.
Tell the world we are Liverpool, champions of England.
We've conquered all of Europe. We're never gonna stop. From Palestine to Turkey, we've won the fucking lot. The Paisley and the Shankly, the fields of Anfield gold. We are unsupported, and we come from Liverpool.
Yes, guys, we're back in the building for what feels like absolutely ages. It's been so long since we've all been together in the same room.
Same screen.
Yeah.
Same screen. Yes, but before we go into it, I just want to get around and whip around the houses. Current results: Manchester City are beating Brentford 2-0 at the Etihad. Probably a foregone conclusion as far as that one's concerned. SS, what's going on in the Aston Villa and Leeds game? This seems like an absolute belter.
It's an absolute ding-dong of a classic, mate. Yeah, currently 3-3. Leeds have just equalised through Diego Llorente from a good cross.
And Leeds have currently got a corner as well. Oh,
yeah,
it's gone
still
over.
20 minutes to go as well because it was a later kickoff, so maybe more drama. But that man Phil Coutinho has had an absolute blinder of a game.
Yeah, he's absolutely been sensational. And Southampton are dumping the pressure on Spurs. 3-2 to Southampton at the at New White Hart Lane, whatever you want to call it. It's extra time in that game at the moment, but Harry Kane is looking to change that. The ball goes wide, ball in. No, Southampton cut it out. It's like ball goes back in, and it's on the outside. Yeah, Bentancur has a shot blocked. Southampton defending with their lives at the moment.
Yeah, ad sponsor here, Stadium, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. There are more games currently going on in the Premier League. Norwich versus Crystal Palace. That's currently 1-1 and in the last 3 minutes of that game as well. So the Premier League is back with an absolute bang. Some great results going on at the moment. So how are we feeling, guys? Like, I mean, we know what we're here to talk about. You know, it's Fab 4 or 3 of us. And it's Liverpool versus Leicester. So SS, just kick us off with the head-to-heads, if you will.
Yeah, it's been a while since I had to do any of these. It's been a bit of a mixed bag with Leicester lately in terms of head-to-head wise. The last time we played them, obviously, we've kind of played them twice within a week, really. We had that shocker of a 1-0 loss in the league, where probably the worst performance I've seen us of the season, if I'm brutally honest. I think we were shocking. Ademola Lookman came on as a sub. Leicester played the tactic quite well, brought on some fresh energy players towards the end of that game and sneaked a 1-0 win in the league. As I say, about a week before that, we dumped them out the Carabao Cup. Jamie Vardy with a couple of early goals. Klopp turned it round at half time, made some big changes, and Minamino equalising at the death for a 5-4 penalty shootout win, and Jota the hero on that day. The one before that was the horror show, the Alisson-Kabak collision. Liverpool winning 1-0 with about half an hour to go and absolutely capitulated. And the last time we hosted Leicester in the league at home, it was a nice 3-0 win with an Evans own goal, Jota and Firmino. So ups and downs, but in terms of the current form, got to be going in as favourites, I would say.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And thank you, Barker Senior, for ruining my evening. Spurs have equalised against.
Oh, no.
We're not offside, no?
Oh, he's gone to VAR. Oh, he's offside. Oh!
Drama. God, could you imagine 2 3-0s on the same night?
Barker Senior, I take it all back. It's all love. 3-2 to the mighty Southampton.
No goal.
Yeah, no goal. And if you are Antonio Conte, and Antonio Conte, if you do watch this, you made a mistake. You made a mistake. Some problems and some messes are just too fucking big to sort out. And I'll be honest. This is a big mess. This is too big to sort out. Even Antonio Conte cannot sort this mess out. Yeah. So thank you for the head to heads. And guys, we're just going to go full steam ahead. Like in recent, you know me. I like to scour Twitter looking for an argument. To be fair, lurking in the depths for a bone of contention to pick. Ready and armed for a battle. And I did see some Leicester fans screaming Brendan Rodgers out. And I deserve. I'm not going to argue. I'm just going to sit back and just watch this manifest, this beautiful thing that we're seeing, the revolt of Leicester fans against Brendan Rodgers. And all of us will know too well the Brendan Rodgers effect, which we're going to call this segment of the show. I mean, BR is a mixed bag. I'm going to throw it back to his time with Reading. Very, very same sort of set of circumstances. Comes in, says he's going to reinvent the wheel. You know, Reading start well, and then it's not too long before the bad results start coming, and everything gets very bitter, and it ends up with him getting the boot. The same thing of Watford. Comes in, you know, with its blazing glory. I'm the saviour. I'm the Messiah. I'm going to get you guys playing this fantastic football. I know the DNA of the club and what it means to the people, and how fantastic of a club this is. You know, all the speech that he likes to give, and then again, we're not too far away for some crap results before he gets the boot. Swansea is where things changed for him. You know, coming from the ranks of a Chelsea youth team coach, assistant coach at Chelsea. So coming up through a great infrastructure at Chelsea, Brendan Rodgers had a very short football career before it was cut short due to injuries, and then obviously went into coaching. But at Swansea, he was able to actually impose his philosophy on, you know, on the English game, getting them promoted from the Championship into the Premier League, and arguably playing some of the best football that we've seen in the Premier League with that Swansea team.
He did a great job, didn't he? Did he come 8th or 9th in the league as well?
Yeah, it was fantastic. You know, players such as Nathan Dyer, players such as Mishu, you know, going in there and actually making those guys play phenomenal football. Liam Britton, who had been with Swansea since they were in the bottom tier of football, and, you know, successfully getting multiple promotions with Swansea. What a fairy tale story that is. Ashley Williams at the back, you know, playing as a centre-back for Swansea as well. So they had some good times, and he had some great times over in Wales. And then the lure of Liverpool Football Club came calling. We all remember that time when we were linked with Roberto Martinez, and then Brendan Rodgers kind of came out of the blue, and we were like, oh, Brendan Rodgers, oh my God, really? And then he got the job. And the first season was an absolute fucking mess. Let's be honest. We kind of sat there and thought to ourselves, oh my God, what have we done? But in the second season, like, what the hell was that? That was amazing. We all remember the euphoria, the ride that we went on, you know, and only finishing a smidgen behind Manchester City after that epic tussle of 3-2 at Anfield, the Coutinho goal. And to be fair, his goal tonight, Coutinho's goal tonight, reminded me of that. It's very similar in the way he's taken it, where he's touched it and he's spun and swiveled and hit it straight away. Bottom corner, keeper had no chance. You know, let's not let this slip. And unfortunately, it did, and we came second. After a total capitulation at Crystal Palace. Cristambul. And it just after that, it was just free for all. You know, we sold the world's best player. We signed players like Ricky Lambert. You know, Emre Can came in. Mario Balotelli came in. You know, a number of players came through the door. Markovic for significant fees, and we could never really replicate what we had in that previous season. The following season saw the departure of Raheem Sterling, and it all really started to unravel for Brendan Rodgers at Liverpool. And then the real Messiah walks in through the door, Jurgen Klopp, and relieves Brendan Rodgers of his duties.
And his house.
And his house as well. Are we seeing a similar thing with Leicester at the moment? I mean, the only real successes that I can see currently in his coaching career is Swansea and Celtic. You know, the invincible season in Scotland. And you know what? That is a feat, because Scottish football is competitive in its own right. You know, so it is a feat to go unbeaten in Scotland. I will give him that. But if we look at it, the Foxes have been dumped out of the FA Cup, and are on a bad run of form, with Brendan Rodgers saying the players are now playing for their season. Is it time for Brendan Rodgers to go from Leicester? Is the question. I wish a Leicester fan was here to answer this, but go on, Courtney. Is it time for him to go?
Personally, I don't care if he's there or if he's not. If
I stay forever.
If I was a Leicester fan, I would want him out. I think with Brendan Rodgers, I think defensively, he's shocking. That's just the one thing that he just can't seem to get down is defense. His record with his defenders is just shit. So I just think it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse for them.
And I'm here for it.
With 4-1 off Forest.
Yeah.
At the FA Cup, like, what? Like, they didn't even put out like a B team.
That was full strength.
Yeah. So I just think, like, what is going on? 4-1. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. And I do think that it probably won't be that long. And if he carries on in the same form, I don't think they've won in the last 3 games. Like, it's probably gonna get the boot again.
Well, this is just it, and we talk about it. And you know, I'll play devil's advocate because they've had injuries. We think about the injury to Fofana, James Justin, who's the lad that plays out on the
Pereira, Castagna,
Evans. They've literally had the main core of their team, their defensive base, ripped out. And you look at players like Soyuncu, who came in, and we were raving about him, thinking, "Oh my God, this Turkish kid is absolutely fantastic." We're now starting to see he's fallen off a cliff, but that's the Johnny Evans effect. When you're playing next to Johnny Evans, who is an accomplished title-winning centre-back, because he has won titles with Manchester United, whether he's was a passenger or not, he's a title-winning centre-back. So he's won titles with Manchester United. That's what a player of that caliber can do. It can stabilise the defence. And Johnny Evans is obviously coming to the twilight of his career, and it's very, very difficult to replace someone of that magnitude. Obviously, their captain, title-winning captain in Wesley or Wes Morgan has retired, but he's still around the club and in an ambassadorial role. Kolo Touré obviously was with Brendan Rodgers at Celtic and obviously at Liverpool, but he's around the club as well. So why can't he seem to get this defence working? Because they're conceding goals at a rate of knots. How do you go to a championship team in Nottingham Forest who have seen better days and get your asses kicked, and you're the FA Cup holders?
It's a tricky one to answer, isn't it? I agree with you on the point where, you look at Liverpool when we lost Van Dijk, Matip, Gomez, it makes a big difference. We still managed to come third with, 2 centre-backs that had never really played senior football before. So on one hand, I get it. On the other hand, Leicester have won the FA Cup. They've got good enough players to fill in. We saw them beat us 1-0 with Amati at the back and Ndidi as centre-back. They've got players that can turn up and, make, kind of fill that gap and just get around it, get over it. But, I looked at the game against Forest, like Courtney mentioned, and, Maddison, Ndidi, Barnes, Tielemans, Iheanacho, Thomas, Soyuncu, these are good players. They shouldn't be getting beaten 4-1 by Forest. So I think it's a little bit of lack of desire. I watched the Brendan Rodgers interview today, the press conference, and it was just, he was saying, mistakes can happen, goals can go against you, but it was the reaction that he found quite poor. The Forest goals, they were 23rd, 24th and 32nd minute. If you go 1-0 down to Forest, you've got to get back up again straight away. And, they've scored a minute later and you think, wow, okay, it's 2-0. Right, let's get to half time. Let's get one back and get back in this game. 32 minutes, it's 3-0. And you're just thinking, what? You can't just completely collapse against let's be fair, a playoff chasing championship team. So it's an interesting point, isn't it? Because when we went to try and win the league with Rodgers in his best season with us, like you were alluding to, I think we still let in about 50 goals in the Premier League. You can't win anything with a defence that lets 50 goals in a league campaign of 38 matches. It just doesn't happen. You look at strikers win your matches and defences win your titles. You look at some of the Chelsea, Man City, Man United defences that have won the league. I think Carvalho and Terry let in about, was it 18 goals in an entire season or something? That's absolutely ridiculous. So it's a tricky one. I think Brendan Rodgers is one of them managers. He's not top tier for me. He's one down from that. He's quite good at riding a wave. He can get can kind of turn a team around. He can sort them out, but I don't feel he has that next step within him. I feel that another manager needs to come in and probably take Leicester to that next level. I think he's done everything he can. You look at Celtic, a treble or something like that with Rangers, weren't even in the league at the beginning of it and were really building back towards where they are now during that kind of period. So I look at that as a little bit of a false stat, really. But yeah, he's had good spells at Swansea.
Give the man some flowers.
Yeah, a little bit. But like you say, you go into a season with Liverpool. I think Suarez was the reason we were as good as we were. Sturridge and Sterling and Gerrard in that team as well was sensational. So I think he was a little bit fortunate that season. But you look at the season afterwards, and Brendan Rodgers' full colours came through, didn't they? Losing 6-1 at Stoke on that last day in Gerrard's last game was for me unforgivable. So how we went into that next season, still as Liverpool manager, and it wasn't until November they realised, you know what, this isn't the guy. So I feel Leicester are in that point now. I think he's been coming fifth the last 2 seasons or so under Leicester, and this season they're 12th. So either they need to reinvest big time, but is Brendan Rodgers the kind of pool that's going to get you better players than they already have, even if you spend 100 million? I'm not sure.
I think the challenge is like you're saying, you're right. They've kind of had a taste of what it's like to be competing for the Champions League. They've played Champions League football.
Yeah.
When you're a team and you get that taste, you want that continuity. Leicester have put massive investment in terms of the training complex. They've built an all-new training complex as well. Next, rumoured to be, is investment in the stadium. Their owners are not shy about spending money, but they spend it very, very well. I was having a conversation with someone who I thought the best and the best and most efficiently run club is in the Premier League. And I said Leicester, because their scouting department is absolutely insane. If you think about the fees they've paid for players in recent years, you talk about Fofana coming relatively cheap. The biggest one is Kante. How much did they spend on him? He gets him a Premier League. They sell him for big money, and he goes and wins a Premier League again.
I think Mahrez as well, wasn't he? About 50,000 or something, and they sell him for 65 million.
Mahrez as well. So, their scouting department is the real MVP. But if your manager is not utilising what the scouting department is offering, you've got some real problems. And I think that's where Leicester are currently coming unstuck with Brendan Rodgers. I do think the time is nearing when we see a parting of ways between Brendan Rodgers and Leicester. And for me, Barker Senior says it very, very well. Hopefully,
I think he would. I think he actually would have done, because I look at you look at Leicester's last 2 seasons, coming 5th, or arguably I think they were in 4th for the majority of the last 2 years. They've only been
but it was a capitulation, wasn't it?
It was, and you look at the battle of the bottle jobs. They even bottled against Spurs. They were 2-1 up in the 95th minute and lost 3-2. So I think if he was having a season like he has done, and they were sitting in 5th or 4th, because that 4th spot is well up for grabs, I think Man United would have had a look, to be fair. But the fact that he's almost kind of dipped at the worst possible time, and I think that's why United have shied away and gone a different direction.
There's no way the fans would want Brendan Rodgers. There's no way at all. I've heard all the rumours that apparently Poch is going to be going to United.
Possibly.
Apparently PSG want Ronaldo in exchange.
Possibly. Player for manager swap. World exclusive.
But the thing is, though, is when his stock was the highest, when Leicester were doing well and they were stringing together results and they were up in the top 4, that's when the interest came. There's no denying that Manchester United had a little look.
Yeah.
So, ultimately for Brendan Rodgers, he's kind of shot himself in the foot. But we're gonna move it on. Evening, Kaid. How are you, man? Good to see you in the chat. Big up yourself. Thank you for coming along.
Just on our AFCON watch, didn't he?
Yeah. And thank you for that. And speaking of AFCONs, Mo Salah. Look, I think we've got to do a nod to this, and it's an epic feat. Sadio Mane and Mo Salah, both Liverpool players, both compete on the world stage with their respective nations and dragging their teams essentially to the AFCON final. Mohamed Salah pipped by Sadio Mane, and it was a real shame. But from Mo's point, you and I watched it, and if you haven't seen it, go back and watch our watch along. SS and I watched the whole final.
Got to spare 3 hours to watch a 0-0.
If you got to spare 3 hours, yeah. No, look, it's a shame for Mo because he was feeding off of scraps.
Yeah, he was.
You know, Egypt. He ain't got the team around him though, has he? With Egypt,
exactly. And Egypt like kind of shithoused their way to a final, didn't they? You know, two penalty shootout wins with their goalkeeper arguably being the MVP, and you know and coming to the fore. It's just a shame, isn't it? And again, it would have been the beautiful story because Mohamed Salah is so close to winning, or on the peripheral of winning a Ballon d'Or. Would the AFCON win have tipped it and swung it to say, do you know what? You are the man. And obviously, Sadio Mane, fantastic achievement for him, taking Senegal forward to winning their first ever African Cup of Nations. I mean, I watched some of the celebrations on in the media. It has been absolutely wild.
Yeah,
but Mo is back. Mo is back in Liverpool, trained yesterday with the squad, and he has declared himself ready to play. So after narrowly missing out on the AFCON, the main man is back. How will he respond, SS, to missing out? Is he going to come back and absolutely light up Leicester and re-announce himself in the Premier League?
It's a good question.
Or like Kai say, does he need a rest?
It's a tricky one because he, like you say, he played 120-minute matches, sort of back to back to back.
Yeah, I think it was 480 minutes.
Yeah, Ivory Coast, Cameroon, and Senegal. So he's played a lot of football, albeit has he really played to the same intensity as he would have done in the Prem? I'm not so sure because, you know, we looked at Egypt's style of play, with all due respect, other than El Neni, I'd not heard of any of their players. And they pretty much parked the bus and one big ball over the top, trying to get it to Mo Salah, trying to get him to make something happen. You know, he had a decent run against Senegal where he beat about 4 players and narrowly missed the target. But other than that, as you said, mate, he was feeding off scraps and standing around for a lot of the game, not really chasing, not really pressing, because the entire front three didn't do it with him. So that's not kind of how Egypt play. They kind of sit in free, 2 banks and just wait to kind of suffocate the ball and go again. So I personally think he's ready to go straight back in. You know, he's got the perfect manager to help him get over a disappointment of a final. Jurgen Klopp's an expert at that. I think he lost 5 finals in a row, didn't he, or something like that with Dortmund and Liverpool. So, you know, the best way to get over losing a final is get your head down, get back to, let's be fair, one of the best teams in the world, and we're in all 4 competitions. He doesn't want to miss any more football. You know, he's top goal scorer in the league before he left. He still is now, and he doesn't want to miss any more games. And Leicester are there for the taking for me. So I think Mo Salah goes straight back in.
Look, Courtney, I'll come to you on this one because this is going to link nicely in with our next topics that we've got. But I personally don't think he needs to go straight back in. I think give the man a rest. I mean, Courtney, what do you think?
I mean, he's just look at him. He's got no body fat on him at all. Like, I don't feel like he needs the rest. Like, I feel like physically he could give 100%. I don't think he's like knackered out or anything like that. But I know Klopp did say that obviously mentally he's not right still after obviously losing in the final, because that's a big thing to lose, especially when he wanted it so much. And I just think, for me, I think he's going to have that fire in his belly. Yeah. I feel like he's going to be going for it. So I personally would like to see him start. I've missed him. So I would like to see him start. I don't think it's a case of that he needs a rest. Like I said, I think it's just if Klopp's going to be like, you know what, like the concerned father rather than his manager.
Well, I mean, you know, I'd be very surprised if he didn't get one of those big Jurgen Klopp hugs that's synonymous with our manager. You know, the first thing that would have happened is when he touched down and got back into Kirkby, he would have been called into the office and he would have been given a big high five and a big hug, and would have been told, "Look, you've done your nation proud. It's no mean feat to get to any final with your national team. It's taken England only 60 plus bloody years to do the same thing. Yeah. So for Mo Salah to be appearing in a final of the AFCON, that's a huge thing. So I don't think that can be underpinned. And like I said, I don't think there's any rush to bring him back. To be fair, I think he does need a rest. I think he needs time to recuperate. I think he needs time to regroup. And again, for me, Leicester aren't really, and I might be speaking out of turn here, but I don't see Leicester posing a huge challenge for us tomorrow night. I think we're going to be too strong for them. And I always say, you don't drive your Rolls Royce to the corner shop. So for me personally, why are we going to bring out the big guns against a team that's faltering? They can't even put Nottingham Forest to bed. So let's give him a rest. Let's give the main man the night off. Allow him to regroup and go again. I mean, this leads us nicely on to the next segment of the show. Diaz.
Oh.
What an introduction.
What an introduction. Welcome to the Premier League, my son. Welcome to the Premier League. And look, I think we need to spend some time waxing lyrical. And I wanna start with from beginning to end. We're in a January transfer window. Me and SS are doing transfer Tuesdays. We're sitting here thinking we ain't going to sign a fucking soul. But we still keep delivering top quality content for you guys because we care. We're here to assess the good, the bad, and the ugly. And we do a transfer Tuesday and we're thinking we ain't going to sign anybody. And on the Thursday, out of nowhere, like an RKO, Liverpool come through and just put Spurs to bed. It's like, listen, we're Liverpool Football Club. You would never, we know you want to sign him, but you were never going to sign him. Yeah, Diaz wanted Liverpool. Liverpool wanted Diaz. And again, big shout out to Avi, Blue Chip Avi, who has been talking about Diaz forever. Big shout out to our man PK, also who has been talking and waxing lyrical about Diaz for absolutely ever. And SSU as well. I remember Transfer Tuesday last year. We were talking about Diaz, and you turned me, a doubter, into a believer because I was like, I can't see it really happening, and what FSG are like, they don't really spend, and obviously we had other ideas, and we put the money on his head, and he is a Liverpool player. I don't know how many of you have been lucky enough to log on to LFC Go or watch the Liverpool Football Channel to see his kind of first moments with the club. And I kind of liken it to like a school kid walking around Kirkby like, oh my God, it's Virgil van Dijk. And you saw the bit where he's like, he says to Klopp, he's like, he's huge. Like, he's huge. I'm like, bro, like, you were only on the football pitch with him 3 weeks ago. Yeah, when you played against Porto. But he was like, I actually didn't realize how big this guy is. Like, he's huge. And Verge, like being Verge, was like, yeah, come here, little bro. Just get a little hug. Like, come here. Like, do you know what I mean? I'll look after you. Which is really, really cool. What do we feel about like Diaz's kind of first moments with the club? Because I'm sure you guys have seen it as well, kind of his introduction to Kirkby. And it's good that he's got peers and players around him, staff around him that speak Latin as well. Because obviously he's Colombian. So Pep Linders speaks Portuguese, and obviously he's Diaz speaks Portuguese from his time with Porto as well, and Klopp speaks a little bit of Portuguese also, which is good for him. So what are our thoughts? I'll come to you, Courtney. What's your thoughts on how Diaz is integrated so far with Liverpool Football Club?
I think he's just melted right in. I feel like with Liverpool, how we are as a club, I feel like we're quite close knit. Like, I feel like a lot of other clubs, like, for instance, United, a lot of people say it's very cliquey. Everyone's, like, very cliquey in the sense. And obviously, we do have, like, the Brazilians. They're quite cliquey. They're always together. But I think that they are, like, a big family. Like, they call each other brothers. And I feel like everyone just welcomed him. It's such a warm welcome for him. And I think that's probably, like, new as well. He's probably not used to having such a close-knit. It's like the fan base is so close-knit as well. Like how we support our players. So I think that would be nice for him. And I think for a player to feel like loved and wanted, I feel like it just makes it even better. He did.
Yeah, I agree, and Kai, big comment from you because I totally agree with you. Just the whole tenacity about his game. And SS, I'm going to come to you on this as well, and thank you to Courtney for her views on how he's integrated into the club, because I do
Yeah, I
agree with
agree.
you. It is like a big family, and it was interesting seeing the communication on pitch between him and kind of the South American players as well. You know, almost making him feel at home. But let's talk about this, because this is from Kai, this is big facts. It gave me chilling Suarez vibes. You know, Diaz seems like an absolute bulldog, and on that baseline when he's there and he's weaving and he just keeps it in, he gets it across the box as well for the assist. That was Suarez vibes all over. The doggedness, the determination, the robustness, to the running through players, getting the little ricochets, the knock-ons to get into other positions, ball anticipation of where the ball's going to land. Bellissimo. It was absolutely fantastic. SS, enough from me. I'll let you wax lyrical for a moment too.
No, I agree. I mean, I think Courtney's spot on. I think as a fan base, we love our players, and the love that he would have got, online, socials, at the club, around the club. We're like no other team. Look at Chelsea. They've got Lukaku in. He's not done himself any favours, but they already don't like him. He scored a goal today and they don't celebrate it. Werner's in, Werner's out. Havertz is in and he's not that good. Kepa's good, then he's out. But, Liverpool, we just wanted one player, didn't we? Let's sign somebody. And when we get him, it's like, oh, yes. All right, we didn't go and sign 3 players, but we got someone decent, someone world-class, potential to become world-class. And, we're like, almost like adopt him instantly. Like, yes, he fits in, he fits the bill, he fits the kind of style that we're looking at. And like you say, you've got Thiago who speaks Spanish. You've got the South Americans. Obviously, he's been playing in Portugal, so I would imagine he speaks a bit of both. So, yeah, he kind of fits straight in. And that first game against Cardiff was a little bit of a welcome to English football, wasn't it? He gets that horrible kind of trodden on his knee, and
honestly,
I was a bit worried.
Yeah, I was waiting for the replay to see if it was like, I was like, oh my god, he's not doing
Imagine.
this. Please tell me he's not doing this.
Been bad.
And then when I seen it was on, I was like, oh.
No, exactly. Like you said, like it was an impact. It wasn't like a twisted knee or ligaments or anything. Just a bit of a scratch down the knee with a stud. But then he gets up and he does that lovely bit of skill on the byline, like you say, Suarez-esque. Puts it on a plate for Jota, who manages to miss it, but Minamino follows up. So yeah, I think he's going to fit in really well. He's quite a big lad in terms of, he's not like massive, but he looks strong. He looks athletic, but he looks fast. He looks quick on the ball. He looks inventive. He's got everything that you would expect a Liverpool front 3 player to have, and he's already kind of shown it. So seeing him come on the pitch at the same time as Harvey Elliott, a new signing that's come in from a foreign country, coming on at the same time as a returning, not very homegrown, but as close as you're going to get to a homegrown without being Scouse, English Liverpool fan. It was almost like 2 signings at once coming on together, and with this massive running coming in, still in all 4 competitions, I say bring it on with those guys coming back.
Yeah, I totally agree with you, and for me, it's just a signal. It just signifies Liverpool's intent. It really does. It signifies Liverpool's intent. Barker Senior, yes, we did. Victor Matos. Victor Matos has been instrumental, and Victor Matos's role is to create a pathway from the youth to the first team, and that's what he did for Porto. So he's the link between the youth and the first team. But the real main connection between us and Porto is Pep Lijnders, because he spent some time in Porto with Porto, and there's no denying that he is a huge admirer of Portuguese players. I don't want to quote Pep Lijnders, but there's rumours that he says that they're just like Spanish players, just as technical but more aggressive than Spanish players. And you can see it. You look at Jota. Jota's been an unbelievable signing, and I know that Pep Lijnders was instrumental in that as well, in getting Jota, because he knows him from his time with Porto as well. So kind of knew what Jota would bring, and then we go and bring in Diaz as well from Porto. Maybe Porto will be our new Southampton, or of a foreign team, or
a pretty good feeder club. They've had some absolute belters come out of that club the last 20 years.
Some serious players come out of there, boy. Some real good players. But in regards to Diaz, I mean, look, he grabbed an assist in the cup. Is he making his Premier League debut? That is the question. Is he making his Premier League debut? Will Klopp turn around and go, "Dinner, boy, go and start"? Courtney, I'll come to you.
I think he will. I think he'll start. I can see it. And like you say, it's Leicester. So it's not like it's a tough game. I think it'll be quite a nice game to ease him in. And I just think Curtis Jones didn't really do that much when he was on. Like, I just think, obviously, Mane's not back. So I just think, yeah, why not? Why not start him? He got an assist. Can't really do much more. Can't ask for much more than that when he came on at the 60th minute. I was like, I think, yeah, I'd give him a start. I'd love to see him start. And I also think with us getting him, he's going to give Mane a bit of a kick up the bum. So that's exciting.
We'll save that for a moment, please. SS.
Yeah.
SS. What are you saying? Does he start?
I agree with Courtney. If he's on the team's lineup, happy days. I'd be really, really pleased to see him. But I don't know, because Henderson's got a bit of a knock and an injury. Thiago's just come back. Diaz has only played half an hour. Elliott's only played half an hour. I don't think he's going to do too much in terms of personnel changes. I think he'll try and keep it as steady as possible. I think Matip probably comes back in for Konate. So already, Robertson back for Tsimikas as well. That's 2 changes in the back 4 already. I don't know if he's going to make 7 changes from the first team. So I think he'll personally stick with the Jota, Firmino in the front 3. And if Salah is available, Salah plays. Let's be honest. It's not like he's been away and not played any football. He's been playing every other day. So I personally think it'll be Salah, Firmino, Jota. But I do think Diaz will come on with the, missing Mane. You don't want Minamino or Origi coming on, or Ox in that front 3. So I think we'll see Diaz again around the 60th minute mark as a sub, possibly for Firmino if Jota goes through the middle, or depending on which one of those two are not playing so well. So I think he'll play, just not from the start.
I think he starts.
I'll be happy if he does.
I think he starts. But do you know what? Everything that you two have both said there is, you're like, I'm not really fussed. Yeah. And this brings us nicely onto our next segment in the show, because we discussed Liverpool's strength in depth. Yeah. Klopp now has a virtually fully fit squad. And what we're going to do now, and the reason I wanted to leave a bit of space, is we're going to talk about our best starting 11. And we're also going to talk about the formation in which that best starting 11 fits into. Because guess what, guys? We have fucking options. Yeah. We have options. From back to front, we have got options. We've got options in goal. We've got options in defense. We've got options in midfield. We've got options in strikers. We've got options everywhere. This is what I'm saying. It feels so weird as a Liverpool fan to sit here and turn around and say that we've got options. How long have we sat here, you and ISS, on shows going, I just want some depth. That's all I want. Yeah, I just want some depth. And isn't it crazy that what a difference a year can make? Because in a year, we now have that depth. And it's not just bodies. We've got real quality in that depth. We think about defensively, Trent, if you need to, you can play Millie at the back there. But really, Trent has played most games, yeah? You then think about, I was skipping the goalkeepers. So Ali and Callagher. Callagher has proved himself as an able deputy to Alisson Becker. It's very, very difficult when you've got arguably the best goalkeeper in world football to find a deputy that can step in and deliver. We saw last year and the year before subsequently that Adrian was not capable. Yeah, we saw he was not capable. We saw how he exited to Atletico Madrid in that Champions League quarter-final pre-COVID because of Adrian. It was a poor performance. And there's subsequently poor performances that went on from there as well. So Liverpool have moved quickly to promote Caoimhin Kelleher to the senior squad because he is ready. I remember watching him play at MK Dons in the cup, and he was assured, he was good, he played some serious football, and I feel that his game has kicked on from there. He's very, very good with his distribution. SS, you and I saw it when we went to Watford. His shot stopping ability is good as well. But like I said, the key thing is we've got an able deputy to come in and play to a high standard and play within the system that we operate in Queven Callagher. We then think about the right back position in Trent Alexander-Arnold. We have a generational talent in Trent Alexander-Arnold. We then go into the centre back positions, Konate, Matip, Virgil van Dijk, arguably one of the best centre backs in world football, and we still have Joe Gomez at the squad as well, at the club as well. Left back position, Robertson, again, arguably the best left back in world football, and Kostas Tsimikas, which has come in and really, really given Robbo that kick up the backside that Courtney was referring to just a few moments ago. The midfield is stacked with talent.
A lot of midfielders in there now.
A lot of midfielders. You know, arguably the best centre defensive midfielder in the world in Fabinho, the Hoover. You've then got you've then got Elliott, who's playing some serious ball before the injury and has come back in and scored at the top end.
Quality goal as well.
On his first game back. Quality goal, well taken.
My eyes welled up at that. I was like,
total confidence.
And his dad in
the
the stands
finish
as well.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful moment. You know, Curtis Jones, who's back fit and can contribute. Thiago, Henderson, Naby when he's having a worldie of a game. Ox is in there as well. You know, the options are there. And then you get into the forward positions. You've now got Sadio Mane, who's just won the AFCON with his nation for the first time and is an absolute demon when he's on fire. Bobby Firmino, Mr. False Nine himself, invented the position false nine. You then got Jota, who can play off the left and through the middle, and arguably the best player in world football in Mohamed Salah, playing off that right-hand side. And then you have the cheek to go into the January transfer window and go, do you know what? We're going to just fuck shit up. Let's go and sign Diaz as well. Just
a bit of flexing. That's what we need to be doing for a while.
This is what I'm saying. So it is unreal. So SS, I come to you first. Who is in your starting 11, and what formation are you playing, my bro?
This is Champions League final tomorrow. Everyone's 100% fit, yeah.
Yes, this is the big. This is the big boy. This is big ears on the line. Everybody's fit. You got a full strength squad to pick from. Who are you picking to start that game? And what formation?
I wouldn't change from 4-3-3. It's been too successful. So I'll probably be boring. Alisson, Robertson, Trent, Matip, Van Dijk, Fabinho, Henderson. I'll come back to the third midfielder.
Say his name. Say
it. Mane.
Say it.
Mane, Salah, Jota. Mane, Salah, Jota up front. And in midfield.
Mane, Salah, Jota.
Mane, Salah, Jota, yeah. Midfield. Do I put him in?
You can't not put him in. You can't not. Everybody's fit. Everybody's fit. And it's a Champions League final. Just say his name and I can get Courtney in. Let's go. Oh!
Sorry. Thiago can come on with half hour to go.
Right. Courtney B, talk to me.
Mine would be...
It's Champions League final.
Apart from I would put Thiago in. I would put Thiago instead of Elliott. Just because he's only just back from injury. So
right. I'm not going to say mine.
Yeah, I know what yours is. Thiago in goal. Thiago at left back. We all dream of a team of Thiago.
Thiago or nothing. Pep voice. No, all right, look. Let me all right, okay. Here's where I'm going with it, yeah. And I've done this for a reason, because I know that you guys would have gone 4-3-3 because you're creatures of comfort. Now, for me personally,
I'm switching it up in a Champions League final.
I was switching it up, baby. I'm switching it
5-3-2 or something crazy.
It's not broken.
I'm switching it up. I'm going 4-2-3-1 is what I'm going. And this is leading somewhere. We always talk about Liverpool 2.0 and what Liverpool 2.0 looks like, and how Liverpool plan on continuing this period of and I would say mild success. It's mild success. News broke in the media very recently. I think it was on Friday of last week via some major sources that Jurgen Klopp is considering extending his stay at Liverpool Football Club past 2024 to oversee what would be the next stage of the Liverpool project. Names such as Jude Bellingham have been mentioned, and those links will not go away. How do we evolve this Liverpool team? Now, I appreciate that we're looking at a Champions League final. And again, my job is to be Mr. Controversial, Mr. Subjective. And taking my controversial subjective hat off, I would probably go 4-3-3 as well. I would go the original back four: Robbo, Van Dijk, Matip, Trent, Ali in goal, Thiago, Fabinho, Hendo. I'm going Mane. I'm going Bobby. I'm really sorry, Jota. I'm going Bobby, and I'm going Salah, because that chemistry is unreal. It's untapped. It's unrivaled. Yeah. Jota comes off the bench with probably 40 minutes left to go, because you want that demon running at you for 40 minutes, because he's just an absolute pressing beast. And then with 20 minutes to go, I'm probably going to go, Diaz, do you fancy a run out? Because we're 4-0 up, and I really want you to get a goal, mate. So, yeah, let's boost your confidence, lad, and go and get a goal. But we're in a very, very fortunate position. But I don't see that being the case going forward. Jordan Henderson is carrying a knock again. He's coming into the twilight of his career. How do we protect Jordan Henderson? Mohamed Salah is 29, soon to be turning 30. And yes, he is a physical specimen, but we have seen some of the best players in world football evolve from being wingers to being forwards, Cristiano Ronaldo being one of them. How do we protect Mohamed Salah's career going forward? We want to see the best from him, and his heat map and his finishing stats detect and show if you get him closer to the goal, he will score more goals. We've just gone and signed arguably one of the most promising talents in world football in Diaz. How do we get him into the team as well with the rest of these guys? So Diaz has not come to Liverpool to sit on that bench, because he was arguably Porto's best player. We've gone into the market and we've signed the best player from Portugal, and we've signed Colombia's best player as well. We've gone out and got the best of the best. So he plays. So it's either one of that front three's leaving, whether it be Mane, Jota, or dare I say it, Salah. One of them's leaving, or we try and fit them all into a system that works. The 4-2-3-1 for me presents a number of solutions. The back four gives us that solid base. And I would turn around and say Trent plays wide, Konate plays in there as a progression from Matip, Virgil van Dijk plays in there, and Andy Robertson plays in there. In that two at the base, I would say either a combination of Thiago or Jordan Henderson plays in there with Fabinho, because it gives you a nice bit of coverage. It gives you a good base, a solid foundation to build from. And in that three, in that middle, you could play Diaz out on the left. You could play Diaz in the middle. You could play Jota out on the left or Jota in the middle. You could play Mane out on the left or Mane out on the right. You then play Salah as at the top. But it's interchangeable. Any one of those guys can go through the centre at any given time. Any one of those guys can pop up on the right. Any one of those guys can pop up on the left. It gives you options. And also what it does is it prolongs Bobby's career as well, because he could definitely hold it down in the middle there. That's how I see Liverpool potentially evolving going forward. Barca Senior, I love it. And you've trumped me. But our fullbacks play high up in that system. Yes, they do. And Trent Alexander-Arnold has shown that he's able to operate in central positions. Joshua Kimmich is the king of doing it, and probably learned from the best in Philip Lahm. In a 4-2-3-1 system, he then becomes a deep line midfielder as your midfielder vacates that position. So Fabinho plays out on the left, potentially of that two, and that allows Trent to come into that right position when maybe a Thiago or a Jordan Henderson gets forward in an 8 capacity to support the attack, or potentially a Jude Bellingham if we get him. So there are solutions in that system to unlock the creativity of a Trent or unlock the creativity of an Andy Robertson, because both are very, very capable. guys, what do we think? How do we see Liverpool 2.0 evolving? Courtney B, I'll come to you. What is your take on how Liverpool 2.0 evolve?
I can't see that. I don't know. I can't see that. What you've just said. I feel like we're just gonna stay the same. I feel like it'll just be a case of bringing in fresh blood, younger players, because we've got an aging team. I think it's just a case of slowly recruiting the younger ones in, playing them alongside our older ones, learning from them, and just following it on. I feel like we always play a 4-3-3. I feel like that's just us. I feel like we're known for that. We don't really mix it up. We're known for just sticking with what we know. I can't really see us going 4-3-2-1.
I agree with you. We've got an identity.
3-1.
Yeah, 4-2-3-1. No, we've got an identity. We do, and our identity is clear in the 4-2-3-1. We know that, but it just like some of the players we're signing just makes me think there's a little bit of something different. The players you're being linked with makes you think there's a little bit of something different. SS, talk to me, because I know that you're a man that's a case of if it's not broken, don't fix it, and you're very wedded to the 4-3-3 formation, as am I. But with a nod to the future, we think about Carvalho potentially coming in as well, who would fit perfectly as a 10 in that system of a 4-2-3-1. Where do we see this evolving to?
I mean, when you've got a player like Fabinho, we almost play a 4-1-2-3, don't we? We play a 6 rather than a 10.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't think it's ever really been something that Klopp's liked. So, you know, if he is going to sign a new deal and stay till, say, 2020, what's he on at the minute? 24?
24. There's talk of a 2-year extension.
Yeah. So if he's here till 2026, what's that, 4 years' time? You know, you've got to look at who's in the squad, not necessarily age-wise, but how are they in terms of injury records? So, you know, Matip is going to be, once he gets into his 30s, he's played something like 25 games this season. That's more than the last 2 put together. So you can't maintain that forever. So Konate is the natural response for him. Van Dijk's had one major injury. He looks fantastic again. So even though he's in the same age bracket, I could see him playing to 34 at the same level. Robbo and Trent are fine
next to him, for sure.
Yeah, because Konate, once Van Dijk loses half a yard of pace, you know, you've still got Konate there that can do that job. Alisson can go till he's 35. Fabinho is 28, so he's fine for now.
29.
I think Hendo and Thiago are the two that I worry about. Not necessarily that, you know, they're 29, 30. Their injury records are poor. I see Elliott, Jones, Bellingham as the natural progression in there in front of Fabinho. You've then got that front three. Mo Salah is Mo Salah. Like you say, I still think he could play on the right wing and into his 32s and then maybe move centrally after that. But I don't think FSG, I don't think it makes financial, logical sense to keep Firmino, Mane, as well as Salah all going into their 30s. So one of them potentially may miss out. You know, you see Diaz coming in. He's naturally a left winger, cutting on his right foot, exactly the same as Mane, 4 or 5 years younger. We're building something there that makes sense. And then through the middle, Jota is 4 or 5 years younger than Firmino. So I think we've already kind of got Liverpool 1.5, if you like, rather than Liverpool 2.0. It's very, very, you know, it's happening in front of our eyes, really. Very slow progression. It's not just one summer window that you move 6 out, you move 6 in that are 18 and you start again. You know, we need to bring in players in their prime, 25 to 28 brackets. So I don't think it's too far away from, in terms of the tactics, the style of play. I think that's going to remain like Courtney said. I just think it is a case of fresh blood, bringing in the right people, you know, the likes of Elliott, Fabinho, Bellingham. That could be our midfield in a couple of years. That sounds pretty tasty. And the likes of Van Dijk and Salah and Alisson are going to be the key players that remain. So we're not going to have a whole team of 35-year-olds. We're going to have 2 or 3. And in that summer where, you know, you look and you say Van Dijk and Salah are unfortunately now pretty much there, then you can go again in the market, or, you know, we might have brought in a Rafinha by then to naturally kind of come through, and maybe another centre back, or maybe Joe Gomez steps up. So it's looking good, but I just think that we're not going to find ourselves in a position where we've got 4, 5, 6, 30-something-year-olds all in the first 11 at once.
I agree with you, and I think it's very. I think COVID has caused and presented challenges. You know, had we not had essentially 2 COVID hit seasons, really, that we've experienced, the market would probably be in a very, very different place. We never envisaged Liverpool dipping into the January market because we thought that FSG was still recovering from that kind of COVID cycle. But we've gone in the market, we've gone big with Diaz, and then we tried to get a young player in Carvalho as well as a nod to the future. I mean, will we go again in the summer window? That's the question. You know, we know that James Milner probably isn't signed another contract with the club in that respect. So we're going to need to bring another midfielder in to cover for that. Or are they going to trust more in the youth and say, do you know what, Elliot, you're going to pick up those minutes? You know what, who else is in there? Curtis Jones is going to pick up those minutes. Does it make sense flooding the midfield with another player in that respect? There's so many permutations. I mean, the Jude Bellingham one is one that excites and really, really does excite. Because I think for sure he's a player that Liverpool and FSG would be very, very, very interested in should he become available. There is a lot of rumours at the moment going around that Dortmund are shit scared of Liverpool's interest in Jude Bellingham as well. And it seems like it's all kind of, the power play seems like it's centred around his younger brother, who seems to be or he's being talked up to being even more of a talent than Jude. 16 and has made his debut already for Birmingham City. So Birmingham City, I know quite well, have got a great academy up there and are just churning out players, to be honest. So Dortmund are rumoured to be trying to make an offer to his brother to take his brother to Dortmund as well and have the two of them playing together on the pitch. I don't know if Jude would be interested in that, but he still has, I think, 3 years left on what was a 5-year deal when he went to Dortmund. So Dortmund still hold all the cards as far as Jude Bellingham's concerned. It could be expensive, but you know, is it what we need in order to solidify our midfield now? I don't see room for him in that midfield at the moment as we see it. You've got some bodies in there in Keita, you've got some bodies in there in Ox. Milner's still there contributing as well, but the summer could bring a very, very different situation. Could an Ox be moved on? Could a Keita potentially be moved on? You know, Barca Senior, you say it yourself as well. Could Mane potentially be departing to Spain? I mean, his stock is the highest it's ever been now. He's just captained, or excuse me, vice captained his team to the African Cup of Nations final, and a win, the first one in Senegal's history after a number of times of asking. He's got them over the line and scored in the final and scored in the semi-final as well. So Mane is in a strong position where he says, I'm the king of Africa. Like, pay me. Do you see what I'm saying? So FSG could potentially look to cash in on that and say, well, we can move a Mane on, we bring a Carvalho in, and that might put a little bit of money in the Jude kitty. Do you know what I mean? So it's all very interesting. Courtney, I'll come to you. I mean, does he go this season with the arrival of Diaz?
I don't think he'll go. I don't think he will, personally. I just think, it's so difficult because it's one of them where you'd hate to see them go, but it's like Coutinho, we sold him, the money was great for us, and then it's kind of like, you don't really need him anyway. Like, you feel better after you've done it, but really, to start with, didn't want him to leave.
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just too attached to all of them. If I could just keep them all forever to the same level, never age, I would do that. But yeah, I don't know. I just can't see it. I feel like he just loves the club too much. I feel like he's another one where he would love to stay at Liverpool, just like Salah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one though. It's a tough one because if someone dangling you now 40 million, what you know, if Barcelona came along and said, "Listen, I got 40 million."
Barcelona got no money.
But they have though. They have. This whole Barca don't have money is a total myth. What they don't have is wage capacity. So they can go out and they've got funds. They can go out and spend funds because they're showing it. Ferran Torres has gone there. They spent money on Ferran Torres. You know, that's hard dollar cash. They've just had to relieve their wage bill and COVID has hit them hard because of the restrictions. They were unable to fill that vast stadium. Now the COVID restrictions are kind of lifting and easing in Spain. You're seeing that the Camp Nou is returning back to some kind of normality in terms of the seats filled, and they're relieving players of their wage bill. They've told Ousmane Dembele, yo, jog on, bro. like, we ain't paying you 350 grand a week for you to sit in a treatment room.
Well, he said, yes, you are.
He said, I got a contract at the end of the season, and they've gone, okay, we'll just release you. Their new president is a savage because he's under one mission and one mission only, and that's to restore Barcelona back to the pinnacle of Spanish football. You know, La Liga needs a strong, competitive Barcelona. Without Barcelona being strong and competitive, La Liga's in the mud. Let's be honest.
It's true.
La Liga is in the mud. And the only reason why Barcelona are in the position that they're in is because they got greedy initially and said, oh, this new TV deal's rubbish. We're not succumbing to this. We're Barcelona. And then rejected it. And then the company that rejected turned around and said, okay, we're just going to make it worse. You need to cut your wage bill before you can sign anybody. And that was it. And obviously the Spanish FA said, yeah, we're all for that. Thus Messi goes. Dembele's going to go. PK's cut his wages, but his appearance and image rights have gone up, which is very interesting.
They pressed the panic button, didn't they? They lost Neymar on that £200 million buyout clause, and then they spent it all on Coutinho, Griezmann, Dembele. They ended up spending about 350, 400 million on 3 players.
Yeah.
No wonder why they're in trouble.
And Griezmann
pay Messi £1 million a week.
Griezmann went. Suarez off the wage bill. So they're being very shrewd. I would expect Barcelona to be competitive again next season, if not the season after. My guy Adama Traore's gone over there for a fraction of what he was earning at Wolves. I think he was on 125. No, excuse me, he was on 80,000 a week at Wolves. No, sorry, 50,000 a week at Wolves. Spurs offered him 125,000. He said, "No, I'll go back to Barcelona for 15." So it's crazy times. And Mane, I think there is an opportunity for him to depart to Spain. I mean, SS, what are you thinking?
It's a big decision in the summer because, like you say, Salah, Firmino, Mane all have 12 months left on their contract in the summer. So do we offer all 3 of them a brand new deal? They're all going to get a pay rise if they sign a new deal, and it's all going to take them to about 33, 34. So you don't want to be stuck with, we talk about Liverpool 2.0. At some point, Diaz is going to dethrone Mane. At some point, Jota, if not already, is going to dethrone Firmino. So do you want potentially your 4th and 5th choice in a front 3 on 150 to 200 grand plus a week? It doesn't make a lot of sense, does it? So the alternative is you sell them, and like you say, with a year left on your contract, there's not loads and loads of money that you're going to get for these players. So it's an interesting one. Personally, I think I'd give them both a shorter term deal, maybe a 2-year extension, and then maybe try and sell them, or maybe a 3-year extension and try and sell them this time, next summer 2023. So there's more money to pay for them to get them out of their contract. They're still around the 30 mark, and you get a little bit of a return where you can go and invest that in someone else that's, again, in that kind of profile that we're looking at, replacing these players with 4 or 5 years younger, but just as good, because we need to be careful that we don't weaken our team. We've just improved our team. We're talking about, we've got options, we've got depth, we've got Diaz, we've got all these players that can play. But if you sell a Mane in the summer, we're back to square one again. And, let's be fair. Yes, Mane hasn't been ultimately consistent, but in terms of his career at Liverpool, he's been an animal. He's been unbelievable. His goal record for our team is insane. So expecting Luis Diaz to just suddenly pick up that slack, I think it's a big pressure. And if Luis Diaz gets injured, he's never played in the Premier League. He could be out for a month here or there. And Mane's been consistent. Mane's rarely injured at all. So you don't want to take a backward step. We're trying to catch Manchester City, not fall further behind or keep the gap the same. So they've got so many options. For me, we need to keep Mane. We need to keep Firmino, Salah. We've added a Diaz. We've added a Jota. There's talks of Rafinha coming in as well as a backup on the right hand side, because we've not really got anybody that naturally plays over there cutting in. So personally, I agree with Courtney. I wouldn't sell any of them at the moment. I'd keep them all. Whether the wage bill allows that, whether FSG decide, yes, because, we had a similar situation with Genie. Won't go on about it, but he was the one to miss out where everybody else got new deals, an extra 20, 30K here or there, loyalty bonuses, and it was all kind of taken from the genie pot. So I personally would keep them all, give them maybe 3-year deals, take them up to about 33, and maybe sell them 2 years before they kind of run out.
Mate, do you know what? Everything you said there was absolutely spot on. It really, really was. I think of the three, the person who I think would realistically take that pay cut, and you think from what you see is the most humble, would be Firmino. Do you not think he would be the one that would say, "Do you know what? I love it here. I'm gonna go to. I'll take 100. I'll take 120 a week."
I don't think they take a pay cut. I think they might agree a small increase or the same with a bonus or something, but I don't think they'd go down.
Well, more of a performance-related contract where you say it's more appearance-based. That's your earning potential, but you've got to make X, Y, Z amount of appearances to get there. And I think Firmino might be the one, because where does Firmino go from here? Mane's got. It's almost like transferable skills. Mane's got transfer. Do you know what I mean? Mane's got transferable skills. He could go into another team in Europe and be dominant. Salah's definitely got transferable skills. He can go into another team and be dominant. But without labouring the point, we look at Gini Wijnaldum as the example and the blueprint of how not to leave Liverpool Football Club.
Yeah,
you've gone to PSG, arguably chasing a pay pack. I get it. This is your last major deal. This is your last major deal of your career. So you want to solidify your family, don't you? You're thinking, this is it now. So I need as much money as possible. But it's been a total train wreck from start to finish. He's been omitted from the Champions League squad. Rumor has it. It's not worked out. And how did you think going into PSG you were going to displace Verratti maybe? How did you think that? What made or what? There must have been some false promising going on. Get him over there. Same as then Messi walked through the door. He must have thought, oh fuck. do you know what I mean? Like, I've cocked this one.
Maybe he'll go Barcelona after all.
Well, this is it. And now his wage demands are so sodding high that anyone that would be interested is going to turn around and say, I ain't paying 250 grand a week for you. Like, 250 grand a week for you? Nah, you're off your head, bruv. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's a tough position to be in. I mean, Courtney, like, just quickly, if one of them were to consider leaving Liverpool Football Club, surely it's curtains after that. And I'm not saying these boys are not talented enough to potentially go and forge careers anywhere else, but it doesn't get any bigger than Liverpool Football Club. Let's be clear. It doesn't get any bigger.
Yeah, and there's no league better than the Premier League. The Premier League is the hardest league in the world. It's the best league in the world. You don't get better than that. And I just think all these players that have gone, like Coutinho and so on, they leave, and then it's like, do you know what? Shit, the grass ain't always greener. Wish never left.
Yeah.
I think they know that, and I think the type of club that they're at, there's no other Premier League side that they'd want to play for because of how we are as a club, how like close knit that they are. I just think it's only gonna. I hope not.
I want Naby and 40 mil, Naby and 60 mil, something like that.
That right there, that's what I can get with that. I can get with that. Naby plus 100 M's. I will buy Bellingham, get Naby free. How about
we ain't paying 100 million for anybody, so
yeah.
Bro, listen, we done 75 M's on Verge. We done 69 on Ali, 68, 69.
Something like that.
On Ali. We've shown that we're happy to spend when it comes to the spine of your team. To go and buy a spine of your team, it's going to cost you big dough. We were lucky with Fabinho. We were so lucky at 36 M's for Fabinho.
Still.
We were so damn lucky for Fabinho. So I wouldn't be surprised if, and especially Bellingham's he's 19.
Yeah, he's really young.
Yeah, mate. if you go and spend 100 M's, yeah. Let's say you spend 100 M's and he stays at Liverpool till he's 35. That's money well spent.
He's 18. He's not even 19 till the summer.
Oh, this is what I'm saying, man. This is what I'm saying. 100 M's. That's money well spent.
I can't see us
Liverpool
down. I just don't think we've splashed the cat. I feel like we'll negotiate. We'll negotiate them down.
Yeah, we will try. But if we turn around and say to Dortmund, listen, we'll give you 50 now, and we'll put the other 50 on the never. We want a bit of Chucky, as they say in my trade. Yeah, we want a bit of Chucky. We want it on the old Bright House. Yeah, we'll put a little bit on the Bright House, as they say in my trade. Yeah?
I think it could be another year away because, like you said, he's still got a lot of time on his contract. We're not spending triple figures in this current regime for me, and I think
it might go up. It might
it would.
It
It absolutely could, and it probably will because he's only going to get better. But
this is what I'm saying.
The problem is with Liverpool, to get Bellingham in, it has to be a bit of a football manager summer. We have to go and get rid of a Keita and Ox, use that money, do something with Bellingham, like you say,
the
some kind of
stars
percentage
sell on. I'm here for it.
I would do it. I would do it tomorrow. But I don't think
Liverpool align though, don't they?
Liverpool aren't like that, are they? If we
I think he already knows. I think Bellingham already knows he's coming to Liverpool. I think he's already got it. He already knows.
Don't gas me up.
The TikTok where that guy goes, "I'm not going to United." He's like, "Don't be silly."
If we can have a price now,
United ain't shit. He already knows. Like he's got that mentality already. Like he's made for it. He knows he's coming.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
Do you know that TikTok was sick? Like, don't be silly.
If we can get some dollar in it for Minamino, Origi, Keita, or Ox, put it towards Bellingham, I'm here for it.
Leave Minamino alone. Leave the guy.
How on earth is he going to get a game now? He can't even get in the team when Mane and Salah aren't here.
He's contributing. He's contributing.
He's not going to play. He's not going to feature at all.
We want to challenge on all fronts. He's contributing.
We've got 5 to cover 3 positions.
Yeah, but you don't want to be like I said. You don't drive your Rolls Royce to the corner shop. Yeah, Salah needs a break. Mane needs a break. Diaz might need a break. Jota might need a break. Throw him in. He's scoring goals. He scored on the weekend.
All right, Minamino or Bellingham, who do you want?
Don't do that. Don't do that. It's not even a debate.
For 20 million off Bellingham, then it's Minamino sold, isn't it?
No, but there's other players that I would want to see leave before him. He's not on the top of my list of players to remove.
Who would you look? Who do you want to see before Origi?
I think Origi goes. That's the player you're looking at going, oh, how the hell am I? You're just going to sign Diaz? Shit. That's the player that goes. Yeah. Origi goes. Then you could look at Nat Phillips. Nat Phillips goes. So Origi gets you 20 M's. Nat Phillips gets you 15. Let's see 15. Origi gets you 20 M's.
No chance.
He gets you
half that would be good.
No, mate. You think
who's paying 20 million for Origi?
Loads of clubs. He's still young. Okay, cool. Let's half it. 15 M's. Yeah, so you get 15 for Origi. You might pull 15 from Nat Phillips.
10.
Yeah. Okay, you pull 10 from Nat Phillips, 25. You pull 10, 15 from Nico. So let's say 10, 35 you pull from Nico. Yeah. That's 35 million pounds.
Absolutely.
Straight away in the kitty before you've even tried to try and crowbar Naby Keita out of the club. do you know what I mean? do you know what I mean? Yeah, before you drag Naby Keita out of Kirkby by his fingernails. You know it was like, right, boys, get him. Do you know what I mean?
Just get the hook coming from the side.
Yeah. Before you crowbar Naby out of Kirkby, before you drag Ox out by his ankles. Do you see what I'm saying? Yeah. So there's scope there. It's not as far away as you think it is. You know, if we generate, let's say out of those 4 or 5 player sales, you can generate 60 million pounds. What's another 40 to grab Bellingham? Do you know what I mean?
I'm here for that all day long.
I'm for it. I'm all about getting him into Merseyside.
And then you've got Morton who can come in. You've got Elliott. You've got Jones. You throw a Bellingham into that. You've
Cade
got
Gordon.
Carvalho, which is coming in the summer. You got Cade Gordon as well, who can take Origi's minutes. We're laughing, bro.
Yeah. Where does Minamino fit into that? If Carvalho comes in the summer, he's completely done.
No, it's the cup competitions. You don't drive your Rolls Royce to the corner shop.
You just mentioned Cade Gordon.
Yeah.
Elliott can play in the front three.
So your front three to go in the League Cup, until it gets real serious.
Yeah.
You play Cade Gordon, Minamino. Listen, Carvalho, go fill your boots.
Yeah, Carvalho, but you don't. Jota and Firmino aren't going to play every game, are they?
No, I'm saying go and slap up a lower league opposition. Go and sow your wild oats. We're going down to MK Dons on the weekend, boys. let's do you know what I mean? Let's go and slap them.
We'll probably have another 18-year-old striker coming through that can play.
Yeah, tomorrow we're pitching up at Norwich in the League Cup. Yeah, go and fill your boots, lads. There's plenty of goals there for you.
I watched Minamino against Cardiff. I know he scored a second half goal, but he was shocking. Overall, he
contributed. He contributed. Listen, he's
done
more.
Really after his goal.
He's not good enough. He's never been good enough. He never will be good enough. We've got better players coming through. We're going to buy better players.
For me, he's a new Origi. He's happy to just sit and contribute when called upon. Origi's time now is done. Let Minamino hold that spot, and we're good. That's it, guys. Before we go, score predictions.
Oh yeah. Go on, Courtney.
I'll agree with it. All right.
Ladies first.
I'm going to say 2-0 Liverpool.
Okay. 2-0. Okay, that's locked in. Guys, in the comments, get your score predictions in as well.
I'm going to go 3-1.
Ooh.
I'm confident. 10-0.
It's a Jericho answer, that.
The thing is, we did lose to them in December. I know they're not in great form, but they did beat us, and we were shocking that day.
We were shocking. We were fucking shocking. I remember watching that game. You asked my missus. I was going nuts.
We were awful.
I threw the table. I threw the control. I flipped the chair in the front room. I went mad. I was like, this is not how you go about winning league titles. I was going mental. So you're right. We did lose in that game, but yeah, look, there you go. Look, yeah, it was fat. it was shithouse football. Let's be honest, it was horrible.
Well, it could be a lot closer in the league if we'd have won that game.
It would have been a lot of it. It would have been, but we move. I think it's going to be 3-0 to Liverpool. I don't think Leicester score. I think it's 3-0. And I also think that Diaz gets his first Premier League goal.
That'd be nice.
I think he bags. Yeah, I think he bags. While he's on a high as well after an assist, I think he goes in and bags. I don't think Mo Salah plays. I think Mo Salah's rested and he goes again on the weekend. Or if he does play, he gets a little cameo at the end and gets a little run out. Just to get him a little.
It's Mo Salah. He starts.
I would like to think so, but I think that and
the thing is with the right wing position. Since Mo Salah's been gone, it's been Ox, it's been Minamino, Jota and Mane aren't the same on that side either. There's no one else that goes in there when Mo Salah's available in that squad. I get the left-hand side can be changed around, etc. The striker position, but Mo Salah's available. He plays right wing. There's no one anywhere near him on that side. So I'd be amazed if he didn't start.
Could you imagine he comes in and picks up like a hammy or something?
Oh, don't say that. That's putting bad vibes out into the world.
No, okay, hold on.
Quick, catch it before it goes.
Let me just distinguish the bad vibes.
I'll be amazed if he doesn't start. I think he'll go with the standard Jota Firmino. They played a lot of games, haven't they, during the AFCON because they've had to. I think Diaz comes in. I'd be amazed if Salah didn't. I think the midfield's a tricky one though. Henderson's knocked. Thiago's only just come back. Elliott's only just come back. So other than Fabinho, I'm not too sure who starts in there. Will it be Keita again? He started against Cardiff. probably. I think he will probably play.
Yeah.
And then maybe one of Elliott, Thiago, or Henderson. I don't think he'll play all the 50-50 guys together.
Yeah. I mean, but Diaz can play right as well.
I've not seen him play on the right. It's all been left from Porto.
Well, we ain't got long to wait. 24 hours before we go and slap Leicester, guys. That's been your Fab 4 show, Leicester preview. Thank you for joining us here at the Red Sea podcast. Make sure you are liking and subscribing. If you are not already, hit that button, like, subscribe, and also hit the bell button as well, so you can keep up to date with everything we've got going on from the Red Sea podcast. Also, do you know, give it a share, whack it up on your timeline as well. Yeah, let's get the Red Sea podcast out there. We've been kind of marching towards that 600 subscribers mark for a while. So yeah, if you're not subscribing, just do it. Just like it. Just subscribe. It would be amazing if you did. Right, SS, what we got coming up for the rest of the week?
We've got Burnley on the weekend on Sunday, so we'll do a Fab 3 preview on probably on Friday or Saturday, probably Saturday. And then we've got the big return of the Champions League, so we'll have to do a little bit of a special Inter Milan Champions League preview show at some point next week as well.
I think that would be absolutely amazing too. Guys, I've been your host, Thiago's father. This has been my co-host, Southern Scouser, and our wonderful, glamorous assistant, Courtney B. We are over and we are out.